What is up, dudes and lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we are looking at the final 11 cards for Phantom Rage. It's either 10 or 11 cards. That's not important. There's also another promo. It's another Dragunity card, which is pretty cool. And this is awesome. I love Phantom Rage. This might be my favorite set of all time. We'll have to see when the TCG exclusives come out. But other than that, I don't want to waste too much time. We got 11 cards to get through. So let's just jump right in with this one, Jack in the Hand. Alright, so this is a normal spell card. You can only activate it once per turn, as most are nowadays. For its only effect says, reveal 3 level 1 monsters with different names from your deck. Have your opponent pick one of those to add to their hand. You add one of the others to your hand and shuffle the remaining card into the deck. I'm sorry. So the idea here, you show 3 level 1 monsters. Your opponent can take one, and then you're left with one of the other 2. This card's really not great. I mean, like, it's not. Your opponent's going +1. You're going 1 for 1. Unless you're playing a strategy that completely relies on some level 1 monster resolving, maybe this is nice because it is technically a search card, but you'd have to have multiple, level 1s, and you would have to kind of trick your opponent into taking one that they didn't know that you were going to make something out of. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a weird thing. I don't see it as being very good overall, but it is still a cool card. It is technically a generic level 1 searcher, so pretty cool. Next up, we have a trap card here. This is All or Nothing, or Ichibachika. Sorry. It's a normal trap. You can only activate 1 per turn. Its first effect says, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, reveal the top card of your deck. And if you do, and it is a level 1 or 8 monster, either add it to your hand or special summon it. If it is not, your opponent selects one of these effects to apply. The life points of this card's controller become 1,000, or the opponent of this card's controller gets 11 life points until they have exactly 8,000. So they will either go all the way back up to 8,000, or they will put you down all the way to 1,000. Pretty tough drawbacks. I mean, it's a trap. It's slow. It relies on a specific card being on top of your deck. Now, there are strategies that can make that work, but easier said than done. I don't know. It's very specific. Maybe it could work in a very specific deck that stacks the top of your deck, but you're not trying to fire this off blind, really, because the drawbacks are pretty severe. 7,000 life points severe. So cool card again, but I don't see it being anything crazy. But this is what we've come to expect. When we see the final 10 cards of a set, usually it's a lot of fluff, a lot of cool, intricate cards that are very cheeky, very interesting, but not particularly good competitively. So whatever. Let's move into the next wave. We've got Cupid Archery. Whoa, Discord, get out of here, man. All right, we got Cupid Archery. This is a light fairy effect monster. It's level 6 with 2,200 attack, 600 defense, so pretty big, actually. You can only use its first and second effects once per turn each. The first effect reads, if the only monsters you control are monsters with 600 defense, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's actually kind of cool. There's an archetype that everything's 600 defense. That's pretty interesting. Second effect reads, as a quick effect, you can discard any card, then target 1 light fairy monster you control and a face-up monster, any other face-up monster. The level of the first target you choose becomes the same level as the second target until the end of this turn. So I guess it can kind of set you up for either a specific synchro play or make things the same level so that you can then go into a rank play, which is honestly not the worst thing in the world. Also, it does let you target any monster on the field. So maybe, with all these plays nowadays, everybody's going into Boral Savage and Arclight. You could potentially just mess with the levels of your opponent's monsters as a quick effect, and it could keep them off of some of their very specific synchro lines that they're trying to go up in. So it's a cool card. I don't see it coming up that much, but it's interesting. I don't know. Again. Next up, we have Ploofiness. Ploofiness. The unconventional commander. All right. He looks cool, at least. Let me see. All right, maybe not see. Oh, okay. Yeah, he looks pretty cool. I like his design for sure. He's a Dark Fiend effect monster of level 4, 1,800 attack. I love beaters. All right, and all 3 of his effects are hard once per turns each. First effect reads, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can banish a trap card from your deck. Then this card gains 1 level. Interesting. See, there's a lot of monsters that want to be banished, but unfortunately, I don't think there's a ton of traps that want to be banished. But this is interesting because it is just generic banish any traps. If we ever get an archetype that wants to be banished, I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's any traps that want to be banished. Cool though. Second effect, you can target one trap in either graveyard, banish it, and if you do, this card gains another level. Okay, gaining more levels, cool. I like that it banishes any card in either graveyard, any trap card in either graveyard, so stuff like Crescendo won't get a search in the following turns. You know what I mean? If they fired it that turn. I don't know, that's kind of cool. And then the third effect, if this card is destroyed by an opponent's card, battle or effect, you can set one of your banished normal traps to your field. I like that. If your opponent has to out this via destruction, you are going to get back at least the trap you banished, assuming it's a normal one. That's pretty cool. Or you could trap trick mana something and then get to set the target that you banished originally. That's kind of cool. I think there's definitely some use here with this card, potentially in the future. I think this is one to keep an eye on for sure, just in case any archetype comes up, any future archetype that's like very trap-based, but the traps want to get banished, like specifically. This could be something cool to start that up. So that's pretty interesting there. And then we get to probably the most interesting card of the whole bunch here. We have Rock Band Groove Xenagutam. Crazy name, but this is what he looks like. He's kind of just like a rocker guy with like literally like crystals coming out of him. He looks really cool though. I like his design a lot. He is a Earth Rock, dangerous, level 4, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. The Rock is really dangerous with that Emancipator right now, but we'll see what he does. Both of his effects are hard once returns each. Like seeing a lot of hard once returns here. First effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard generically, you can target one rock monster in your graveyard except for himself and add it to your hand, then place one card from your hand on top of your deck. See, it's actually pretty, I think it's a balanced effect, right? You are getting that recursion, but it's not 100% free, right? You're getting a card back from your graveyard, but then you have to put a card in your hand on top of your deck, which is really good. So you're not just going straight up +1. It is a 1-for-1, but it is targeted, and especially in something like Emancipator, you get to add back one of your Emancipator monsters, then just put whatever was in your hand that's already a good target that can be hit off an Emancipator right on the top of the deck, or if it's already a card you still want, you just put a card you want to draw and you draw it. Good to go, right? So pretty interesting there. I like that. I like it's just when he's sent to the graveyard is also pretty cool. And a second effect, if this card is banished from the field or the graveyard, you can send one rock monster from your deck to the graveyard. Boom. That second effect is also really nice, specifically while Block Dragon is around. We'll see what happens. I know a lot of people are calling for Block Dragon to get banned, but if we see it get to 1, this is just another card. It can be pulled out by any of the Emancipator monsters, and all you have to do is just banish it with something like a, what is his name? Oh, Gigantes, or something like a Rock Spear. You play more cards like that, just banish him, boom, Block Dragon engrave. You've just found like the best extender in your deck. Boom. It's pretty cool. I think it's an interesting card. I think that people definitely consider playing it. We'll just have to see what happens with Block Dragon on the ban list first. All right, next up we have a trap. This is Revenant's Running Rampant. I love that name. It's a normal trap card. It just says, during the main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon or set one monster. That's honestly pretty cool. I'm trying to think if there's like really specific, I guess there are monsters that like say like on summon, like do something to your opponent, but it's on summon, so it's kind of hard to like get them out on your opponent's turn or get those effects on your opponent's turn, but this could just be a cool setup with that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of a good example. I just can't think of anything like off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are good examples of this card being decent. I'm sure we'll see something with this at some point, maybe. I think it's a cool card. I'm kind of curious to see what you can do spicy with that. I don't think it's insane, but I think it's like interesting. All right, then we have a new quick play spell. There's another one I think is really interesting. This is XYZ Import. This is a quick play spell. You can only activate one of this card's name per turn, and this card reads, target one Exceed monster you control and a monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to the Exceed you control. Attach that opponent's monster to your monster as material. This card's very, very cool. It's very nice removal. It does target, but it's non-destruction, which is very cool. Not only is it non-destruction, but also loads material onto Exceeds. And there are, as we all know, there are Exceed monsters that really do appreciate those extra materials. Something like S0. This card is insane with that, because it's going to give you another turn. Not only that, but it's also going to raise S0 a whole nother 1,000, because S0 gains 1,000 attack and defense for every material. So not only are you getting an extra turn in longevity of being able to like negate your opponent's entire like field again, entire situation again, but then you also get that extra 1,000 buff, which makes him even harder to out. So very cool card. Other situations too, I'm sure it's great in just giving stuff material. Give it Dingirsu material so that you have extra protection on your board. It's pretty cool. I think it's an interesting card, definitely, especially in stuff, maybe even something like Zodiac, just because it's so easy to put that that exceed on the field, that this card is just such a versatile removal card for that, which is pretty cool. All right, next up we have Nizumi Hanabi. This is a new Fire Beast effect monster. It's level 4 with 2,000 attack, 200 defense. 2,000, level 4, interesting. It cannot be used as material for a fusion, synchro, exceed, or link summon. Okay, so no material. It can be used for a ritual though, so that's cool. And his effects read as follows. If this card is normal or special summon, place 6 counters on this card. Okay. Second effect, once per turn during your end phase, switch control of this card to your opponent. Okay. And the third effect, once per turn, if this card with counters on it switches control, roll a 6-sided die and remove its counters from this card equal to the die result, or all of them if there are less than. If all of this card's counters are removed by this effect, destroy it, and if it is destroyed, you take 2,000 damage. Okay, so this is just kind of a cheeky card where you're trying to just give it to your opponent and then have it destroy itself and deal your opponent 2,000 damage. That's pretty much the idea I'm getting from this. I don't really see it doing too much. Can't even be used as material for anything. It's a beater, which I guess is kind of interesting, but I don't see it really doing much. It's a cheeky card. It's like I've said before. All right, next up we've got Gluttonous Fish Greedus. It's a water fish tuner effect monster. It's level 3 with 1,000 attack and 1,000 defense. He reminds me of like one of that swimmy guy from Ice Age 2, I think. That's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, he has a hard once return effect. He reads, you can target one fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster in your graveyard with a level less than or equal to the number of cards in your opponent's hand. Special summon it, but it cannot activate its effects this turn. Okay. And then second, if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can have the synchro material that use it as material gain 200 attack and defense for each card in your opponent's hand. This card's kind of interesting. I like that it's just like a kind of just a quick, easy extender, like especially later in the duel, just get any fish, sea serpent, or aqua monsters, particularly low-level ones, because it has to be equal to or lower than the level of cards your opponent has in their hand. But I think that could be cool. There's definitely utility here for this card. It's another like interesting fish support card. We got like Lifeless Leaf Fish in Rise of the Duels. Now we're getting this guy. He's not as good in my opinion as Lifeless Leaf Fish, but he's interesting. He is just kind of like a Monster Reborn type monster. It's pretty cool. And then of course, I guess like a Satellar Knight Altair type monster, and then also giving the buff to your synchro can be interesting depending on the kind of synchro you're summoning. That buff can be pretty nice. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting fish card. Nothing crazy, but still nice to see. And then we have Magical Broker. This is a dark spellcaster effect monster. It's level 3 with 1,500 attack, 200 defense. Very interesting. This is a spellcaster, and its stats exactly are 1,500, 200. That makes it kind of Charmer support, because they have cards that say, like, if a monster you control is destroyed, you can special summon a monster with exactly 1,500, 200 from your deck. It's pretty cool. I don't know. Let's see what he does. If you can only use the second effect once per turn. First effect, he cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect while you control a continuous spell or trap. Okay, I mean, that's kind of like Charmer stuff too. Charmers put continuous spells and traps in the field. Second effect, during your opponent's turn, you can send one face-up continuous spell or trap you control to the graveyard to draw 1 card. Honestly, could be worse. I mean, like, is it great? No. No. But it gives you the potential to draw further into your deck. I don't know. I'm probably just trying to talk him up at this point. I really don't think he's that good, but he's cool. He does fit that stat requirement. Maybe he'll fit into a very specific interaction for the Charmers or something. I don't know. But he's interesting. So overall, the ones to definitely keep an eye on, I think, is this one, XYZ Import. The quick effect double summon is pretty cool, as well as our Rock Boy, and then this guy for the future. He could be something interesting in like trap-based decks. There. And then we have one more card I want to go over, the Dragunity Promo. Finally got revealed. We got the art for it a little while ago, but we have an effect for it this time. This is a level 3 Wind Dragon Tuner effect monster. Nothing crazy there for Dragunities. His attack is 600. His defense is 1,600, so a little better. And you can only use his first and second effects once per turn each. First effect, when this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 4 or lower Wind, Dragon, or Winged Beast monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. Also, its second effect says, while this card is currently equipped to a monster, you can special summon this card. So, kind of an interesting card. I think overall it's like fine. I don't think it's particularly amazing. I don't even know if you play it, maybe you play it as a follow-up card. Maybe there's specific combos where it's kind of good. I really don't see it being that great. Like, the thing is, like, how consistently are Dragunity setting up a monster in their graveyard prior to the normal summon? Is what I'm wondering. A lot of combo decks like that don't usually do that, so it feels like more of a recovery card than like an actual play starter. But who am I to say? It's another card that can just kind of special summon itself once it's equipped to something, which is nice. And I don't know, it is technically a +1. So definitely let me know your thoughts down below on all of these cards. Like I said, I told you guys my 4 favorite: Ploofiness, Rock Band Guy, Revenant's Running Rampant, and XYZ Import. I thought were the more interesting ones here. Definitely going to try and get my hands on those just in case for the future. But let me know your guys' thoughts. This is the last cards for Phantom Rage, at least for the OCG's version. So we have all 80 cards there. I think this is going to be one of the best sets of the year, if not the best core set at least. And let me know what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.